Right, third night lucky, hopefully, he says. Trying again. You can see it's sort of just twilight now. Right, we're back out for the main event, so just let me go through the setup here. So I've got a Pluto trigger on the top. This shoe is what comes with the Move Shoot Move tracker. It has a lead that comes down and needs to be plugged in the tracker. The tracker's set relatively square, albeit I live on a bit of a slope, so it doesn't really matter that much for this time lapse, which is what I'm trying to do. So trigger into camera, triggers on top of the adapter that comes with the Move Shoot Move tracker, and I've got a lens warmer on. I've been bitten with this before. I'm not expecting, it's quite breezy tonight, I'm not expecting any fogging issues, but just to make sure, and I've just sat it on the chair with an external power supply just to keep that running. So first thing I'm going to do is just take a quick test shot again. I think let me just turn this down. The cleverest thing to do, wasn't it? Right, so we just got a 20-second exposure here. So on the Sony, if you press the live view, you can actually get a bit of a preview of your composition. You can see there's a fair old slope on the hill, but that doesn't look too bad. And as it comes round, could probably just do with lifting it up a touch, making it a touch higher. So just give me a second. Right, so that's a little bit better. So I'll just take a quick test shot and make sure that I like to do this after I put the lens warmer on, just in case you've knocked the manual focusing for the stars. So we'll just try a 20-second exposure and see if that's okay. And if it is, then it's just a question of getting the Pluto trigger set up in the app and switching the tracker on. So just zoomed in there, and the stars look pretty sharp. They look pretty good. So I'm happy with that. And the composition looks okay. Now then, just a couple of things. I'll switch my torch back on just to explain this. One of the things I found from the trial is that when I've used the Pluto trigger before, I used to set the camera to bulb mode and let the Pluto trigger decide on the exposure. You set it in the app. That didn't work the other day. So what I'm going to do is actually set the exposure, leave the exposure at 20 seconds on the camera, and then just set the intervalometer running within the Pluto app to take, I think, 360 shots for an hour and a half. One thing to remember for you Move Shoot Move people, let me come around here, is that the dial on this side, just remember when you turn it when you turn it clockwise, the northern hemisphere light comes on. It then moves from left to right in a clockwise direction, and conversely, if you move it the opposite direction as you switch it on, it illuminates the southern hemisphere. Now, I'm assuming that will rotate it counterclockwise. So I'm going to rotate it clockwise. So I'll just put this on now. So I'm just moving it around. I'm sticking it to 0.1, which from advice would be a nice speed. So it's moving 0.1 degrees every time it takes a shot. And how it works is when the camera takes a shot, it sends a message to the tracker, and in between the shots, if you set I'm going to set a 3-second interval between the shots. As that 3-second interval takes place, the Move Shoot Move tracker moves, and that's how it actually takes the time lapse. So it moves in between the shots 0.1 degrees. So what I'm going to make sure I do this time as well, from what happened, what went wrong the other night, is that once I set this off, I'm just going to watch on the back of the screen and watch 2 or 3 exposures come off. I'm on the ISO 800 here. There's quite a bit of light from the town. I'm hoping that should be enough. So I'm just going to watch a couple of exposures fire off, set the tracker off, and then we'll see how we get on. Right, I've just been back in and just been back out and collected the camera, brought it back in. It's not immediately obvious when you're shooting with a wide-angle lens how much it's moved. I've had a quick look on the back of the images, and we definitely have got some movement. So fingers crossed. Third time lucky. I think we're there. Let's have a quick look. Look here, this is the first image in the sequence. There's 183 images. I meant to do more actually, but I'll have to set that up a bit longer to run tomorrow. That's the first image, and if you look at this right hand side in the bottom corner and then move to the last image, you can see it's moved quite a bit. So I'm fairly confident that's worked, so I just need to do a bit of processing on them now and stick them together in a little movie on iMovie, and hopefully the short clip that you see next will be the result of that. Just before I show you that though, what I've done, and this has been recorded the following morning, I nipped out when I was so excited that I'd managed to get this motion time lapse working, that I realised there's still quite a lot of the night left. And with the Lyrid meteor shower being thereabouts, I thought I'll stick it out, the camera, and just leave it overnight and capture another sequence, hopefully a bit longer, and see if I can catch any Lyrid meteor showers. And I've just reviewed the images and, oh, wow, just, well, I'm not going to ruin it, but just have a look at this. Wow. So, can I just give a little shout out? I know I've mentioned it before, probably previously. Alan Wallace and my mate Alan Lightly both gave me some good advice about getting the Move Shoot Move tracker working. So, dead chuffed with that. The Star-X satellite sequence going over with the Milky Way rising over the house. I mean, the Star-X was just a bonus. I had tried to shoot it earlier, as you know, but not very successfully. But to capture them going over again in that time-lapse sequence, fab, just absolutely fab. Love it, absolutely love it. So, afternoon nap for me today, because tonight is the peak of the Lyrid meteor shower. So I'm hoping to get out, have a little walk close to where I live, and try and get some of the Lyrid meteor showers tonight. So that's tonight's expedition. But I hope you've enjoyed that Move Shoot Move tutorial stroke learning lesson stroke don't do it this way. This is the proper way of doing it. I got there in the end, and hopefully you'll agree the final product was actually pretty cool. So thanks for watching. Tune in next time. If you liked it, hit the like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and you get more of this. So thanks very much for watching, guys.